Definitely not the species we're after. Out of all the different species of fish, to be able to distinguish, what's a crappie, this is definitely the toughest one. There's so many different names for this fish. I call it a white bass or a sand bass, or I've heard several different names. It kind of just depends on where you are in the country. They're very, very similar to a crappie. They act a lot like a crappie. The shape of them is just a little bit off, and their movements are a little bit different than a crappie. But it's definitely hard to distinguish that. I usually always check those fish because they look so similar to a crappie. I caught some really big ones during the tournament that I had to check just because they looked right. Here's another suspect. It could be a white bass. It's swimming a lot, but it looks more like a crappie to me because it's not making a lot of sporadic movements. It's just kind of moving in a straight line. Here he comes. There we go. Crappies, they run more in a straight line than the white bass do. White bass zigzag a lot, and crappie just kind of cruise wherever they're headed. So I was looking at this fish right here at distance, but as I get up to it, it's moving around a lot. It's got its head slightly pointed down. It's hard to see right there, but this would definitely be another white bass. That crappie throws a very, very distinct image. I always try and keep my head over my screen, when I'm dealing with the glare, to try and be able to see it. Some tournaments it gets so bad that the dad stands right here next to me and uses his hand or whatever he needs to use to block that sun off that screen. I'm just trolling around looking for that perfect image of a crappie. Most of the time when you see a crappie, he's going to be sitting still, not really moving around a whole bunch, unless they're spooked, and then they'll move. So here's a fish right here. That head slightly pointed down, and you can see that tail wagging back behind him. Definitely another sand bass there. One thing with the crappies, you very rarely see a tail wag back behind the fish as it's running. They're going to be just kind of moving. Their body might be wiggling a little bit, but their tail's not going to be back there wagging real crazy. Until they get big, a big crappie's tail will wag just a little bit as it swims, but for the most part, they're not going to be. One thing about me is I'm very quick to write a fish off. If I don't like the way a fish is acting or behaving, I'm going to leave it alone and go look for another fish. I do it every day with clients, and sometimes it's hard for them to grasp that we're leaving a fish because they think, well, here's a fish, let's catch this one. But sometimes the fish just doesn't want to work with you, doesn't want to really give you a chance to catch him. So this is a big return right here. It looks like a crappie at distance, and as I start ranging in, I'll get a better image of it. The only thing I don't like about this fish is that his head is somewhat sloped down. It's got the right shape to be a crappie. It's showing me the right things. With a fish like this, you just have to check it and see. I've got him close now, so start easing down. I'm gonna stop the bait, keep it above him. And until I'm really ready to present the bait, I'm not gonna get real close to him. Now I'm ready, I'm lined up. I'm gonna put that bait right in there on top of him and see what he wants to do. Nice little fish there. Nothing too crazy, but solid little fish.